the cross in for one of their goals at that World Cup. This was further over the line than that example.
Yeah, it's honestly incredible. Like I said, I've never seen it so close to being a goal, but it not being a goal. It was an incredible save, I suppose you have to say that. But you know, you talk about the manager there, he's only had 5 days to work with the players. The players on the pitch need to be taking responsibility for some organisation here. You know, the centre-backs need to be keeping hold of them midfielders and say, don't be jumping out your spaces, because they're going to try and press, or when they are in possession, the shape is kind of too expansive, and when the ball turns over, like I said, there's gaps all over the pitch, and way too easy for Japan to get into them spaces.
So Tunisia 0, Japan 1, and the first kind of passage of play really, 13 minutes into this match, where Tunisia have been able to try and put some passes together whilst they are with the ball just in the centre circle, try and run you through the Japan starting 11, which haven't been able to do yet. 14 minutes now into this match, Zion Suzuki in goal for them, as he just watches the ball be shepherded out of play by one of his defenders. Back three of Bayern Munich's Hiroki Ito, with 2 changes coming alongside him in defence. Ko Itakura, who is captain this evening, and alongside Takahiro Tomiyasu, obviously a player fans particularly of Arsenal know very well. More than his fair share of injuries in his time at the Emirates. Now Ajax, he's making his first start of this World Cup, and they've got a corner to defend here, Japan. Tunisia going to have an opportunity from the right, try and sweep this delivery in. The referee's not happy with what was just going on in the box there, so take 2 and they'll go back for that. Midfield for Japan, Kaiti Nakamura, Daichi Kamada, score of their goal. Also Al Tanaka of Leeds, another one of the changes coming in, and Ritzy Doan, who was very bright in midfield in the Netherlands draw, as they wait for this second take 2 of this corner from the right. Saad delivers over to the far post, and it's headed up and wide, and will go out for a throw-in on this near side touchline as Japan defend the goal to our right hand side. And then the front 3 for Japan as they wait for this throw-in to be taken quickly. Kaishu Sano, Juno Ito, the 4th and final Japan change, and Ayase Ueda, we've already mentioned him. Brilliant season for him in the Dutch Eredivisie. Last season's runaway scorer, and almost setting up Daichi Kamada for a second, as this is the first real opportunity for Tunisia to try and get a touch in the Japan box, and they don't really do anything with it, and Japan easily get it away and go off on the council with Daichi Kamada, their goal scorer, seeing lots of time on the ball. Nice tackle in from matches. They are trying to recover against the shock of conceding so early. They still haven't got a grip at all in rhythm in this game. No,
they haven't. Even turnover there once the corner got cleared. Nobody marking the player up front on his own. Gets hold of the ball, brings a couple of midfielders into play, and then Japan end up on a counter-attack. So open on transition. There's way too many gaps, no organisation, no structure in the play, in possession or out of possession. It's been really comfortable for Japan. They've made a really good forward. They look like they can score a goal.
Team between Ito and Leeds is Al Tanaka down the left-hand side. Very different rhythm to this game than what Japan experienced against the Netherlands in their first match. Then they were just watching really. Netherlands dominate possession, and they are the team doing that in this match at the moment. Takahiro Tomiyasu sending it back to Tanaka in the centre circle. And yeah, we're seeing stats confirming what we're just saying. Almost 60% of possession for Japan in the opening 18 minutes of this match, and Tunisia just not able at all to get a grip on this game. Terrible measure went down. Japan again will try and build it in their own half, but this match is a very important one because of that win for Netherlands earlier over Sweden 5-1 a few hours ago. Tunisia, no. If they lose this match, they are losing by a goal to 0 at the moment. They will be eliminated from this game. For Tunisia, Japan, well, they would have seen what the Netherlands would have done, and they would probably want to make their own statement as well, following what Ronald Koeman's side are able to do.
Yeah, and they've made a good start to that. You know, there's every chance that they go on and win this game 2-3.
さあ、全力で来るがいい。俺たちの強さ思い知らせてやるぜ。速攻は私の得意とするところ。そのトリックは今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。
みんな本気で行くわよ。
獲物に向かって一直線よ。
It is literally every time the ball turns over, any kind of transitional part of the game, it's wide open.
Handball Medley working really hard to try and pull all the way to the power players and by Boucher very well actually.
絶対に抜かせないから。
我らは憲法が守り、とくと見るがよい。
放送の計算ってとこね。
一人か。いいのか。 で乗り込んでくるとはな。その首おとなしく渡せ。久々に強敵と会えたわ。敵将討ち取ったり。敵将討ち取ったり。
Of his neck, and there's been lots of debate at this World Cup and Japan leading this match by a goal to nil with this hydration break midway through the first half at the Monterrey Stadium. That hydration breaks have been outbreaks, but actually in Guadalupe in Mexico, temperatures actually during the day in June can reach 34 degrees C. That's why the matches are being played at night. It's 10 o'clock.
わしの傭兵味わうがいい。
Disappointing to see though that the Japan coach Johnny Moriyasu brought out his during hydration.
援軍が来たか。よし、一気に攻めるぞ。力ずくで来るなら止めてみせ。熱くなってきたぜ。一気に行くか。
Germany in that match coming from behind to beat Ivory Coast, puts them top in that group as well. The highlights on the BBC Sport website and app if you want to watch them. So extensive.
Toh sama, 一気に攻めちゃいましょう。
勢いに乗って攻めるのです。このまま 負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。一直せよ。親父叩き潰してやろうぜ。見事なお手並みです。よ戦ぶり。我が刃よ。若武敵将勝ったり。
They are when they turn over the ball. There's no structure.
Tunisia 0, Japan
これより
in the second of these group Japan turning the screw. They toughest group for those two dramatic places through to the last 32 at the moment. This Tunisia is about managing how many of them see their athletes with this way. We are on BBC 5 Live. This match is also live on BBC One. Look at that goal from Ayase Ueda. So the first goal in this match scored in the opening minutes, if you're just joining us, by Crystal Palace's Daichi Kamada. A second goal for him at this World Cup. As Japan very neatly shepherded the ball back to Zion Suzuki, who's very little to do in that Japan goal. The first 35 minutes of this match at Monterey Stadium. Daichi Kamada with the opener for Japan in the 4th minute. Ayase Ueda doubling their advantage in the 31st minute. At this point, as Tunisia have a free kick just inside the Japan half, they have really got to try and channel what they tried to do against Sweden in their opening group game. They did get a goal back before half-time in that match. Came out in the second half really positively as well, but tried something a little bit different. I think at the moment they're being completely overrun, and Japan just very, very confident and very happy to just watch them play the ball in these areas, which isn't a threat to them at all.
Yeah, they need to stick the chests out. You need to see a bit of leadership out on that pitch. I'm not seeing who's organising, who's pulling people in, who's saying, like, get in there, let's keep it tight, let's get through the half time, let's get in and see if we can reorganise. There's nobody really doing that. It's just the same. And look, I understand it's difficult being in situations yourself where you go a couple of goals down, you can't really get close to the ball. You're playing against a good team. It is difficult, but you're at a World Cup, you're representing your country, you need to fight, you need to organise and not chuck the towel in.
So Japan very comfortable at the moment, leading by 2 goals to 0, 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go to half time. Monterey Stadium, games continue to come thick and fast. After full time in this one, next match from the 2026 World Cup, commentary 5 o'clock. In Group H, Spain against Saudi Arabia. Here on BBC Radio 5 Live, you can watch that on BBC One as well. As again, Japan get forward. Ueda wanted the pass to him from the right-hand side. There's a good run forward again from Junior Ito. He looked right down that right-hand side, but that occasion he couldn't find Ueda.
Yeah, I think Ito and Kamada have been the positional play.
全軍周囲の指示に従え勝利をつかむぞ敵軍の攻勢がやむまで持ちこたえよ今度は負けねえからな敵将打ち取ったり
task for so little time to work with Tunisia. So Spain against Saudi Arabia at 5 here, BBC Radio 5 Live. Belgium, Iran follows at 8 o'clock.
「この超文縁がお命頂戴する」「沈む生きておめえを注が敵将打ち取ったり」
Best third place finishing spots. Goes without saying that every day. BBC Radio 5 Live and then the Football Daily podcast will check in on both the Scotland and the England camp. Ball whipped in from the right-hand side into the Tunisia area by Japan. Kamada shuffled back to his midfield. Very comfortable now with Tanaka. And then across to Sano. All of Japan's outfield players up. There's Junior Ito on the left-hand side. Shows a bit too much of that Tunisia and gives away the free kick. And that's probably the only blip, really. The first 40 minutes of this match. It's been an excellent performance so far from Japan, led by Team Boston.
Yeah, it's really good performance, really enjoyable performance. The energy that they play with and the precision, how quickly and what they do really well is change the tempo. You know, we've just seen Tanaka there, he's really comfortable on the ball, he manipulates it, he's keeping the ball, he's making angles to receive, but then when the tempo changes, when they're ready to play forward, they play forward with pace, and they play forward, they run forward, they go and support the teammates, and they're a dangerous team.
And no Wataru Endo, of course, and no Haru Toma, always worth reminding our listeners
厳しいね。橋を落としてみないかい。中央の進路を閉ざせば勝ちのもんさ。
Two of their biggest playmakers, and they're still so impressive. It just shows now the strength and depth that Japan have built into their squad and football over the last year.
It's
a machine together. It's a relationship that's built so nicely between squad and between managers. As they deal with a free kick, through Tunisia's half, just on the left-hand side, Dylan Bront receiving that. This will be a decent opportunity for Japan. To score a third, Andy, with 2 minutes for stoppage time for half-time.
We've just completely put the game away. I mean, I don't remember Tunisia having a shot, so for me, if the game continues the way it is, then it's, no chance of Tunisia getting back into it. But if they get toured, if Japan get toured, then...
まだ橋を落とせぬのか。早くしろ。今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。
橋を落とします。至急立ち退いてください。
今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。郊外中央の敵戦を占拠せよ。 負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。負けねえからな、敵将。
Barely been in his first 45 minutes, and he needs more pass forward. They can't always rely on Hannibal Medbury, the one route that he can go through and going forward.
Yeah, I take that point, but what I would like to do is sustained possession to be able to bring them forward players over. So midfield have been able to grab them in the game and time to bring them in.
Throw in from Tunisia.
よーし、これより駆け足の準備に入る。
お命頂戴します。
引くのも戦略です。
敵将討ち取ったり。
絶対に忘れません。
敵将討ち取ったり。
Ideal scenario for them really. 4 changes for this match. Their head coach and he will get a bit able to conditions as well. Will tell you how important it is to make the full use of the squad at this World Cup around the 32 as well. It's an ideal scenario.
Tunisia 風を酔うためこれより祈祷を始めます。
真の草の科だと正しい。遊撃戦の真の覚悟をせよ。どうだい、策はなったよ、周囲殿。船の動きを感じれば家計の効果は倍増。先ほどの進路の閉鎖と見事だ。まあ今回だけは譲ってやるが、敵将討ち取ったり。
Space behind the midfield and in between the back line and the midfield. There's way too much in there for Japan. So attempting to push one of the centre backs up there, or maybe make it take one of the centre backs off and put a number 6.
引くのも戦略です。敵将討ち取ったり。覚悟されよ。金が鳴るまい。敵将討ち取ったり。 まだまだ。敵将討ち取ったり。その首もらった。負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。わしの傭兵味わうがいい。こう見えても奇襲は得意でね。いざ仕上げと参りましょうぞ。
今こそ勝機。攻め立てましょう。
見事なお手並みです。くのが戦略です。敵将討ち取ったり。戦の決着をつけようぞ。
やかなお手なり。
敵将討ち取ったり。新しいこの
How many Brazilians actually know that story that Scotland introduced them to football? Cheers, Scotland.
They're afraid.
Fixing you with me. They've shaped football fighting each other's throats. The rivalry and the legacies.
Over it, so Scotland in third, having
won their opening game against Haiti, and the top two, Brazil and Morocco, tied on 4 points, and Scotland, Brazil next up in their final group game. And Charlie, I mean, it was a really tough start, wasn't it? Actually, this is an incredible goal, I've got to say. Scotland rallied, but this was a really difficult start for them.
Yeah, it was for 70 seconds. Not good defending from Grant Hanley. He steps up when he doesn't need to. He needs to go with the run.
全軍突き進むのだ。敵は少数。一気に早々まで攻め上がれ。みんな存分に暴れてやれ。間に合ったか。その首もらった。負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。この拠点は我らの命綱。落とさせんぞ。俺の攻撃かわせるな。次は負けない。敵将打ち取ったり。今だ攻めかかれ。
Far side for a throw in. He started this match, so Suzuki in goal. Ito, Itakura, Tomiyasu, back three, Hedden, Morgan, Marlon, first goal. Will be attacking towards our right in the second half. We watch here in their dark blue shirts and dark socks, shorts, and Tunisia. It's managing in the small ends, I suppose, and try not to concede.
今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。
たくさん逃げ腰ですね。この防衛の要所を突破できると思うな。戦略です。
敵将打ち取ったり。もうしばらくの辛抱だ。すぐ行くぞ。 覚悟を召されよ。落ち着いて対処しろ。引くしかない敵は敵将討ち取ったり、その首もらった。
Going forward, Ishmael Garbi having an eventful couple of games ahead of this World Cup, actually sent off in a pre-tournament friendly against Belgium, so to the right position in this match. Lost space almost again. Almost
一筋縄じゃいかないんじゃない？
我が部、とくとご覧あれ。俺がぶっ飛ばしてやる。今度は負けねえからな。敵将。
Just trying to pick out Tunisia right shirts. Japan, Tunisia area. Zero down the right hand side going forward. Tunisia there, but pass final ball.
Go no good. 拝見させてもらおう。敵将討ち取ったり。俺もやりますぜ。いかんな。我らは開始。本陣に引く。今度は負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。この超文元がお命頂戴する。
敵さん逃げ腰ですね。
恥で死すより生きておめえを注がん。 れまでか。この拠点も我らに動くんだ。落とさせんぞ。
俺たちと戦うなんて気の毒ですね。
今度は負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。
敵さんが逃げ出す前に追いつこうか。
ここは引かねばなるまい。敵将討ち取ったり。
To win a knockout game in the World Cup. This is their 8th World Cup.
戦略です。敵将討ち取ったり。大活躍ですな。戦の決着をつけようぜ。
Reached the knockout stage, 2 goals to nil and 4 points in Group F. Just inside the centre circle, it needed something.
Possession or going forward. Maybe I'm trying to look at some positives for them there. There's not too many to be.
Second half, conceded yet. 4 minutes in this match. Goal to it's difficult because the defence was really the foundation that they built their qualifying campaign on, which topped their World Cup qualifying group and inevitably this game in qualifying. 1-9, drew 1, didn't concede a single goal. First team in for qualification didn't do that. That was then matched by Ireland and also England, but the foundations of defence then, well, fall away as we've seen in this World Cup so far. It's very, very difficult for them to find any momentum really to build on. And I think we're seeing as well Medri really trying to search almost for possession. He was up front a couple of minutes ago, he's gone back way now into sort of a holding midfield role. He's searching for the ball because he's not getting any service as such at the moment.
Yeah, he's beating up scraps. I mean, I can't believe that's that you've just told me there. You know,
what about the defensive record in the qualifier?
It's incredible. You know, if you're to watch this game that they played, and then you watch.
自然殿が家計の準備を整えるまでが勝負。皆さんは これまで敵を食い止めてください。
Individual defending as well. It's incredible, really, that they went through that campaign. Really, is with them stats.
A big part of it going from one extreme to the other, Andy, is Hervé Renard's 7th manager in this, that lack of consistency, the contrast. What they have done is they tried to get forward here, use defensive work as Tunisia tried to get the pass into the air. You can see the free Andy receiving that in Japan's 18-yard box, but the contrast in terms of consistency in the touchline from one side to the other, more extreme either.
運長の敵即興を打つ。久々に強敵と会えたわ。敵将討ち取ったり。今度は負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。大将首もらった。敵将討ち取ったり。よし、続けて第2軍開始。今度は負けねえからな。
To help with the goal difference, but they're so comfortable in this game.
Here on BBC Radio.
戦場を一気に駆け抜ける。貴様が大将だな。覚悟しろ。闘志を刃に変えるのだ。良い敵に出会った。いずれ再戦しよう。敵将討ち取ったり。
From the Oval, New Zealand looking very well placed to win that second test match and draw level in that series, and there'll obviously be lots of analysis as well, I'm sure, on the TMS pod after that match is concluded about
その首正しく渡せ。 勝打ち取ったり攻勢を緩めるな。
A good insight into what the players are kind of seeing on that level as well. You know, you can see the angles a little bit. You can see
Some things have worked, haven't they? Some of the things have been shown.
俺の攻撃かわせるか。でしょ。次は負けない。
敵将打ち取ったり。あと少しです。耐え抜いてください。戦場を一気に駆け抜ける。
Tunisia still going forward at the moment, trying to down that right hand side. Back into the area. Ali Abdi was the only white shed in there, and it's cleared out over the far side by Japan.
一人イノシシムシャよ捉えたわ。敵将打ち取ったり。準備完了。あとは自然殿が火を放つだけです。
60 minutes or so. Sebastian Tunisia. First match in charge of Tunisia.
さあ、暴れてやりましょうや。このままで済むと思うな。今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。敵将打ち取ったり。支流の槍さばき生きれるか。だが次に会った時は勝つ。敵将打ち取ったり。
Tunisian league, so it was maybe a little bit of surprise that he didn't start certainly this match. Tunisia, so try that long ball. Field and very difficult for Tunisia to see much of the ball. Back very comfortably now to Suzuki, who again, since that one moment for Andy Reid where a little bit of passion about to try and get a long throw to do it all in this match.
I know what you're trying to give a little bit of something, but there's actually nothing in it. It was a lovely moment. They weren't even close to goal. They were about 6 yards.
敵将打ち取ったり
敵の戦略です。
敵将打ち取ったりもう一押しですを
to 4 points Japan alongside the Netherlands at the top of Group A. Scored 3 goals in a game. The occasion was in 2010. They put 3 past Denmark. Obviously, that World Cup. So all the options that they have in this match, they were choosing
策はなりました。このまま突き進むのです。奇妙な陣形ですが、恐れず進んでください。
say is that I don't think there's a lack of effort from Tunisia. I don't look at them and think
一気に打ち破ります。
trying to compete, but adjustments, and the shape is not right. As absolutely
making a sub here as well as a way to get away. Japan now substitutions. So Nari Sugawara,
間もなく諸葛亮が来る。それまで耐えよう。
Not like the iPad or the laptop, the Maurizio Pochettino and USA graduation breaks, but just getting the old whiteboard out. Hopefully we might see him use it at the end of the game. Just to count down. For Tunisia, taken short from the right hand side. Hannibal trying to work it in just inside the dead ball line. Corner for Tunisia. 16 minutes plus time to play. And to his credit, as Andy Reid was saying there, for Mejbri really trying to proactive, working hard. Try and make some corner for his side from the right again. Sent over to the far post. Comes back in and the shot from into the area. Ismail Garbi just on the field, of course, in the second half. Box. So Japan on 4 points alongside the Netherlands.
一気に叩き潰す。
World Cup with a game still to play. Because the Netherlands beat Sweden by 5 goals to 1 earlier in Group F. So the results which at the moment eliminate Tunisia. Japan Sweden not out of it at all. Spots, 8 of them available. Teams as they try to progress like I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't say that there's a lack of effort from this team. I just think shape and quality-wise, they've been miles off it. Another corner for Japan. 78 minutes played. Ito's going to take this again from the right-hand side for them as they attack the goal towards our right in the second half. Cleared by Tunisia. Again by who's just come on the pitch for the line. Next Garvey forces it out of play for throwing on this near side touchline, which Japan will take. I believe it is just at the moment for these 2 group games at this World Cup, because it will now just be the one final game where today. Until the end of this tournament, and then they really, as we say, probably need to think. Well, need to try and think about the return. Substitutions made by Japan. So Tomiyasu and Hito Nakamura being replaced by Yuito Suzuki and Yumi Seko as well. Plays his club football in France for Le Havre. So really able to bench and bring on some squad players now in this final 11 minutes for stoppage time of this match. Japan.
奇策は打ち破りました。ユーミ覚悟。
勝機は今だ。攻勢をかけよう。レイさんが逃げ出す前に追いそうだ。さあ、存分に力を振りましょう。
Long term with this Sweden team.
Mina, 本気で行くわよ。
もっと派手に暴れましょうぜ。負けねえからな。敵将討ち取ったり。
Searching for a fourth in this match. 83 minutes played.
Take show! 打ち取ったり。
報いを受けていただきましょう。
敵さんが逃げ出す前に追いつこうか。次は負けない。
敵将討ち取ったり。
次への布石です。
敵将討ち取ったり。
我操！搞掉了我的。
守るべきものがあるのだ。負けられん。もう一押しずつを。我が刃よ。敵将討ち取ったり。
But if you're a young player and you're
were able to do in their first match. That's the last bit of play for Aida in this match. He's just substituted for replaced him. Tunisia's best players are the key to scoring their own goal in this tournament. As well in different ways that they see the football.
Yeah, I think it's the goal the way they have been so team-oriented, probably in the way it's brilliant stroke. It's more team-oriented goal, and that probably suits them cohesion is there, the understanding is there, the movement is there. And the connection is there, and then if you've got the technical ability then to be able to execute when you get into them areas, then you're on to a good thing. And I've really enjoyed this performance. I've really enjoyed it. There's been lots of different bits of quality in there in terms of in possession, out possession, out possession, organisation, structure. Loads to take from this game, from them, lots of positives.
Lots of smiles on the faces of Japan's suspense, and lots of positive stats still coming as well. First time they scored 4 goals in a match at a World Cup. Aishi Ueda, the first player to score 2 goals in one match for Japan at a World Cup. So just a positive. This is all just all about being the best team in the world. One of the most important things really
方部隊が敵の背後を突きます。直ちに外門を破り休まず攻めるのです。
今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。おお、全力で来るがいい。聞かねばなるまい。敵将打ち取ったり。
With a smile on their face into the 89th minute of Montreal Stadium, leading Tunisia 4 goals to 0. What is going to be?
打ち取ったり。その首もらった。おお、見事です。負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり。
Stoppage time at the end of this match, and in the next 5 minutes or so they will know that their World Cup is up to us. Lots and lots of gentle instructions on the face.
さあ、そろそろですね。
大将に相違ないな。そのうち頂戴する。今は何せとも思え。敵将打ち取ったり。
1点方位の薄い箇所がある。
夫の活路を開くのはラーズの妻の務めでしょう。
俺らに近づくやつはぶっ飛ばすぞ。ダメだ。苦しいんだよ。敵将。
Second match at this World Cup is at Tuesday 9 o'clock UK evening time. I'll remind you that match against Ghana. still full of energy. Netherlands match for Tunisia will be
おどきなさい。我が君の邪魔はさせません。お命頂戴します。
敵将討ち取ったり。俺もやりますぜ。
引くのも戦略です。
敵将討ち取ったり。
引くのも戦略です。
敵将討ち取ったり。者ども存分に攻め立て。潰してくれ。
引くのも戦略です。
敵将討ち取ったり。
私と出会ったのが本人だ。この際を生かせぬとは。勝ちたいよ。
敵将討ち取ったり。攻撃を受け止めよう。耐えるのだ。引かねばなるまい。敵将討ち取ったり。
城壁を破り一気に本城へ迫ります。各軍勝者を護衛しつつ進軍してください。
追い潰してくれ。今度は負けねえからな。敵将 勝打ち取ったり
大将とワーブをご覧あれ。ここに耐えるか。
敵将打ち取ったり首もらった。今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり敵将打ち取ったり
なるほど、そうきますか。さすがですね。
俺がぶっ飛ばしてやる。今度は負けねえからな。敵将打ち取ったり
敵が進軍を停止。一体何を。
敵将打ち取ったり
装備を破こう。
Once again, he in position, and once again he responds. Cristiano, a recent